Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Buddha Zen Wisdom. It's so good to have you with us today. As always, we're here to accompany you every single day and share some of life's important lessons. You know, as we get older, sometimes it feels like things move so much faster than they used to. The world changes, people change, and we change too, don't we? Let me tell you about a little something that happened a while back. It's about my dear friend Mark and his father, John. Have you ever heard someone say something so simple, yet it made you stop and think? Well, that's exactly what Mark did one day when he was carrying his dad up the stairs. Mark looked at his father and said, "How are you so light, Dad?" Funny, right? But it made him pause. Mark had always thought of his father as strong, like a rock. You see, when Mark was a kid, his dad was the toughest guy around. He worked tirelessly in the fields day after day, carrying loads of 400 pounds without even breaking a sweat. And if you asked anyone, they'd tell you he had a posture so straight it looked like you could hang a coat on him. But now, Mark's father, John, was 68, and things were different. He could barely move without feeling the strain. His once strong back had become thin and fragile, and he could hardly carry a shopping bag anymore, let alone a heavy load. Mark, now an adult, looked at him with concern. "How did this happen, Dad?" he wondered. Well, you see, John had been through a lot in his life, working the land for decades, and only a few years ago, after he retired, he stopped doing any strenuous work. He stopped lifting, stopped moving the way he used to. And it wasn't just his back, his whole body had started showing signs of aging. His muscles were weakening. John's walk had slowed down, and even something as simple as opening a bottle of water became a challenge. He was no longer that Iron Man Mark remembered. So, one day, John asked, "Is something wrong with me?" His forehead was wrinkled, concern etched in his voice. It was clear he was worried. They went to the doctor, and after some tests, the news wasn't good. It turned out John had lost a significant amount of muscle mass. A lot more than was normal for his age. And that, my friends, was a big problem. The doctor explained that John was at a high risk of developing sarcopenia. You know, sarcopenia is a condition where muscle mass decreases, and it's very common as we age. But it's more than just a cosmetic issue. This muscle loss affects your ability to move, increases the risk of falling, and even messes with your metabolism and immune system. So, Mark, his son, was really shaken. He couldn't understand how someone who had been so strong could end up in such a condition just from stopping work. But here's the thing, this muscle loss isn't just something that happens to John. It happens to all of us, sooner or later. In fact, muscle loss is one of the most natural parts of getting older. We can try to delay it, but eventually, it catches up with us. As we get older, and especially once we hit 50, our muscles start to break down faster than they can build up. I know, it's not something we like to talk about. But it's true. We can be in the best shape in our 30s and 40s, but after a certain point, muscle loss becomes part of the aging process. And it's a slow process, too. It doesn't happen overnight, but gradually, you begin to feel weaker. Those tasks that once felt like second nature, like bending down to pick something up or carrying a few groceries, start to become a little more difficult. Now, let me tell you something. Just because muscle loss happens naturally doesn't mean we have to just sit back and accept it. No. There's a lot we can do about it. You see, as we age, the number and size of our muscle fibers decrease, and this mostly happens to the fast-twitch fibers, the ones that give us explosive strength. So, it's not just that we're losing muscle, we're losing the type of muscle that lets us do those quick, strong movements that come in handy when we need to act fast. And you might notice, as you get older, that you start to feel tired more quickly. You used to have endless energy, but now, you get winded after a short walk. It's frustrating, right? I know. But we have to take action. We can't just let things slide. We need to take care of our bodies. Now, let's talk about food. I know some of you might be thinking, well, I don't eat like I used to. I don't need as much food anymore. But you'd be wrong. Because in reality, one of the things that really affects muscle loss is the food we eat. Many older adults tend to eat lighter meals, like porridge, vegetables, rice, and avoid meat, eggs, and dairy. But these foods are packed with protein, and as we get older, protein becomes more important than ever. Without enough protein, our muscles can't rebuild, and this accelerates muscle loss. Now, I'm not saying you need to go overboard and eat 3 steaks a day. But a little more protein wouldn't hurt. For example, if you weigh about 130 pounds, that's roughly 60 kilograms, you should aim to get between 60 to 72 grams of protein a day. That's quite a bit more than what most people are eating. And this is something we need to make a habit of every single day. Protein is the building block of muscles. Without it, you're not going to get anywhere. And it's not just about the muscles. When you don't get enough protein, it affects everything from your immune system to your ability to heal. It's linked to weaker immunity and slower recovery from wounds. So, you see, it's not just about being strong, it's about being healthy all around. Alright, so now that we've covered food, let's talk about something else that's even more important: movement. Our bodies were made to move, and if we don't use them, they'll start to lose their strength. It's as simple as that. Have you ever heard the saying, use it or lose it? Well, it's true. If you don't use your muscles, they're going to shrink. Studies in the US have shown that older adults who don't stay active lose muscle mass 30% faster than those who exercise regularly. That's a huge difference. You see, sitting around all day isn't good for anyone, especially as we age. Your muscles weaken, your coordination goes downhill, and your metabolism slows down. But don't worry. It's never too late to start. Even if you're older, you can still do things to stay strong. Just a bit of walking every day or some light strength exercises can make a big difference. Strength exercises don't have to be complicated. You don't need to lift heavy weights. Simple movements like squats, lunges, and arm curls can help build and maintain strength. And if you want to improve your stamina, try some aerobic activities like walking, swimming, or cycling. These not only help with your muscles, but also improve your heart health. And I know, sometimes it's hard to get started, especially if you've been inactive for a long time. But listen, aim for just 30 minutes a day, 3 to 5 times a week. If that seems like a lot, start small. Just get moving. Your body will thank you later. There's another factor that plays into muscle loss as we age: hormones. Yes, hormones. When we were young, hormones like testosterone and growth hormone helped us repair muscles and keep them strong. But as we get older, these hormones decrease, and that's one of the reasons why we lose muscle mass. Testosterone levels, for example, decrease by 1% to 2% every decade. Growth hormones go down too. So, what's the solution? Diet and exercise. That's right. We need to keep feeding our bodies with the right nutrients and keep moving to maintain those muscles. Now, how can we tell if we're losing muscle? There are a few signs to watch out for. Do you find that your grip is weaker? Maybe you can't carry as much as you used to. A weak grip can be a sign of muscle loss. How about walking? Are you walking slower than before? If your legs feel heavy after just a few steps, that's another sign. Or maybe you've noticed that your arms or thighs are thinner, even though your weight hasn't changed. Muscle loss can reduce your overall body volume, and this affects your metabolism. And here's something else: fatigue. Do you get tired easily? I mean, tired after doing something as simple as washing the dishes or taking a short walk. That's another warning sign. Your muscles need energy, and when they're shrinking, it's harder to get through the day without feeling drained. So, what can we do about all this? The key, as I've been saying, is to take action. Focus on eating enough protein, staying active, and doing strength exercises. And don't forget the importance of a varied diet. Vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and nuts will keep you healthy and feeling good. And remember, we don't have to let aging take away our strength. We can fight back, one meal and one movement at a time. You don't have to be a bodybuilder to stay strong. Just do what you can every day, and you'll see the results. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope you found this helpful. Please don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, subscribe to Buddha Zen Wisdom. Until next time, take care of yourselves and remember, your strength comes from within. Keep moving, keep eating well, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. May you continue to find wisdom and strength on your journey. Namaste.